and the desire, for that matter, to want to go out and kill the President of the United States. Let's take a look at the evidence. Now that a motive and the necessary skill has been provided, the evidence is something that directly links Oswald, opposed to anybody else for that matter, to the Kennedy assassination. Now, on the day of the murder, Oswald was seen by witnesses going into the Texas School Book Depository where he worked and carrying a package wrapped up to his workstation. Now, immediately after the shots were fired, 3 shots, at the President's motorcade, and the President, he, of all the workers in the Texas School Book Depository, a fairly large building, of all the workers, he was the only one to flee and run out of the building, and was the only one who did not return to work. So, the President's shot, he splits, work kind of stops because the President of the United States has been shot, but everyone returns to work later that day, back to the school book depository, except Oswald. Furthermore, Oswald's prints are the only ones found on the gun. And the bullet fragments and the ballistics from the scene, one found in a stretcher, the other fragments lodged in Kennedy, all matched the firing pattern of Oswald's Italian rifle. Now, on top of that, there are 4 eyewitness accounts that say they saw gunshots being fired from the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository. And it appears that there are no other credible eyewitnesses that indeed saw any other shots coming from Triple Bypass, Grassy Knoll, anywhere else that would suggest multiple shooters. Finally, let's take a look at why this isn't a conspiracy. Well, there's no real concrete, credible evidence. All wounds suffered by Kennedy came from and could be from shots fired directly behind him. Now, as his motorcade comes down Elm Street, the shots Oswald shoots from his cypress nest, if you will, are from a little bit behind and to the right of a preceding Kennedy down the street. Now, even though his head, when he shot the second time, goes back and to the left, instigating theorists that the shot had to come from the front and to the right. Well, indeed, if the shot is coming at an angle, the neck would contort around and go backwards, because the shot wasn't from directly behind him, but at a bit of an angle. So physically, it makes sense. Also, conspiracy theorists look at the magic bullet. A bullet that the first shot, which hit Kennedy in the back and came through his neck, managed to also go through Governor Connolly, who was sitting right in front of him, exited below the chest and through his wrist. Now, if they're sitting directly in front of each other, the shot would have to take a right turn in midair, mind you. But instead, and it's not highly recognized, that Connolly was actually indented. His seat was indented. So his right side of his chest was directly behind Kennedy. No need for the bullet to take any wild and crazy turns. Also, radio transmissions. The Dallas police, which were following Kennedy's motorcade, and of course the security at the time, well, they have radios on them, and they were able to pick up what the different sounds of the day. And there are 3 distinct gunshots, and also there are repercussions. They're in a downtown area. You hear echoes. You hear sounds of the sound of gunshot bouncing around. And well, there's like, oh, this sounds, when you listen to all the radio transmission, it sounds like there are multiple shots. Oswald couldn't fire 6, 7 shots, whatever they're saying, and the amount of time and this, that, and the other. Well, unfortunately, for the conspiracy theorists, the echoing and stuff, there are only 3 distinct spikes of an original genesis of the sound. That being from only 3 gunshots coming in a time frame which Oswald could easily fire accurately. Now that that's put to bed, I'm not sure that it really will be in today's society. There's really nothing out there that, especially when Oswald was murdered himself before trial, to pin him concretely to the assassination. However, according to the facts and what is revealed, it's not as romantic as many theorists want it to be, but there was only one shooter that killed Kennedy on November 22nd, 1963.